Yeah.
Happy Thursday!
Yes, it's Thursday.
It's Thursday again. Welcome to Therapy of the Absurd, everyone.
We're in month 8 of this year, guys. Can you believe it? How long has this pandemic been going on?
Too long.
Yeah. It's been 100 years since we saw the before times.
100 years. So my grandmother, her birthday is today. She's not with us. She was born in 1906. And if she were alive, she'd be 114 today. Like, so speaking of 100 years, like, but so I celebrate her in the afterlife. I celebrate her.
Yes.
She left us in 2000, even the top of the 2000s is when. But that's so funny, 100 years to think about.
Oh yes.
I had a great grandfather. that lived to be 108.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
How?
107. Sorry about that. 107. He just did. Like, he was, and if you like, there was an article about him in the local paper in Coffeyville, Alabama, Clark County. Jimmy Carter sent him a birthday card, and they did a big article about him in the small town paper. And he said what did he say? He never drank. And he never smoked his whole life. And then and he said, and this is to give you a sense of the time, because I think everyone on here has had enough birthdays to know that Muhammad Ali's name was not always Muhammad Ali. So my great grandfather was quoted as saying, "I used to fight like that Clay fella," because before Muhammad Ali changed his name was Cassius Clay, and so just a man of his time. But yeah, he said no drinking and no smoking his whole life, and he just worked hard.
I mean, I think if you told it to a bunch of 90s kids, they go, "You mean Clayface from Batman?"
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Would you guys trade alcohol and drugs in order to live to 108?
I would.
I like how all of
let me think about that. In case there's censors watching, this is just apple juice.
But it could be your beer if you want to sponsor the show.
Hey.
Here's
Or
Coors
your
Light here,
wine.
coming at you.
Or your wine, right, Stacy?
Now remember, you got to be careful about that, because if you mention a product without their consent, they could be, "Hey."
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
We are very, very broad. Wine and beer.
Yes. That's why the Hallmark Channel turned us down to do ads for them. They're like, "No, we've seen your show."
So I didn't realize it. Apparently, those can of wines. Have you seen those can of wines?
Yes.
They've been like popping up everywhere. Apparently, like one can of wine is an entire bottle of wine.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So if you look at the back of the can, some of them will tell you exactly how much they equal out to. And apparently one equals an entire bottle of wine.
Wow.
That's bananas. I was on a mic. I don't know. I've been on 3 mics this week. And on one of the mics, a young woman she's like, "I just finished my can of wine." And I'm now thinking, like, bless her heart. Does she know she drank a whole bottle of wine before doing her set? Does she know she drank? I mean, like a can.
Probably knows. Knows.
Well, but like, okay. But like, what if Coke can? Like, I'm just thinking like a Coke can is a 12-ounce can. So how many ounces are those cans? Okay,
I think they're probably exactly like a can of Coke.
12 ounces, something like
12,
that.
Yeah, cans are 12 ounces. Yeah, cans.
Ounces? I don't know.
Maybe they just evaporate out some of the water and leave it kind of syrupy.
So wine bottles
concentrate.
My lesson: wine bottles don't hold much. That's not like if a wine bottle is only 12 ounces, that's like.
I think the alcohol content is the exact same of the so it's not that much, like not the same amount of fluid. Like wait, we can't show the name.
Okay.
It's not the same liquid amount, but the alcohol content is the exact same.
Wait, say that again.
So the alcohol, like the actual alcohol percentage and content of an entire can equals to the entire bottle of wine.
Oh, okay, and okay.
Grapes, you say? Grapes, you say?
All right.
By the way, Dana, I could tell you what a wine bottle holds.
That's what I'm trying to ascertain right now.
It holds my aunt's attention.
Okay.
So,
Hey man, whatever works.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got a lot of ants right now going, who's he talking about? Which one of us? And they're all looking at each other's wine.
Okay, you guys,
He's a
I'm
snippet
sorry.
my favorite.
So the standard wine bottle holds 25.4 ounces. And that's what I'm I'm a Google fanatic. This is what you will learn about me. I'm like an information like geek. And a glass of wine is said to be 5 ounces. So that means that in a bottle of wine, there would be mathematically 5 glasses. So that means you're saying that a can of wine is a 25, well, it's basically double the Coke can. Like, I don't like, oh my God, that's all scary. It's all scary. It's too scary for me. Sorry.
Kind of
I'll
like
buy one and bring it next Thursday so we can look at it.
Right, because that's like malt liquor. Like that's a malt liquor can. Like, those big. Okay, anyway.
Oh yeah.
You know what this is going to lead to is just college parties where they're popping a hole in the bottom. Go!
For
Wham!
Yeah, that's interesting, man. That's interesting.
Sorry.
It's like edibles in a sense, because a lot of people don't expect, something so small to be so strong, so they just eat the whole damn thing. And nah, dude.
That's what they said about Joe Pesci.
Oh, okay. I love that movie, Super. It's amazing. It's amazing. You haven't seen that one? That one's so good, dude. He's a slumlord who gets forced to live in the apartment. It's awesome if you haven't seen it. It's so good.
Wait, is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's called The Super.
With Joe Pesci.
Yeah, with Joe
No,
Joe Pesci.
About, like making the making a landlord live in the apartment if it's like an
no. I think that's just
condition.
a movie concept. If it did happen, it would be a judge that is like creative and fucking amazing.
Right.
Well, but you know how it would really go. The landlord would just go to the judge and go, "Here, just take some of this, and then shut the hell up from now." And they go, "Oh, okay." So.
Oh yeah, you'll know the judges, because those are the ones that actually give the sentences. Otherwise, you'll see big business go in there and just pay a $10,000 fine. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was all money.
Oh yeah, but that movie is amazing if you get a chance to see it. The Superman. I think my favorite part is he's so bored he wants to throw a tennis ball on the wall, so he goes to throw it on the wall, but the walls are so shitty, this tennis ball gets stuck in the wall.
Wow. Okay.
It's awesome, and the roaches are huge.
Ooh.
So big that they got nicknames. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's Eddie over there. He'll be cool. Just don't throw chips his way. He gets mad.
Reminds me of that old what is that old MTV show with was it Jerry O'Connell that got turned into a movie? What is it, Joe's Apartment?
Joe's Apartment.
Yeah, where he talked to the roaches and the roaches were his friends.
Yeah. It's funny, we just watched Ant-Man, and like there was so many scenes they could have had, they decided not to. I guess so they could keep their rating low. So, but yeah.
Oh, I love Ant-Man.
What was that, like the redneck version of Dr. Doolittle? Like
for
roaches, like talking to
Joe's
roaches?
Apartment.
More of the inner city, like New York kind of apartment that was like and they'd come out, they'd sing and dance for them too. They choreographed. Because roaches don't have jobs. They have all time to get their choreographing down, and that's why they're so good at it. Yeah. Oh, synchronized swimming and toilets are great at that too. So.
Yeah, there's stuff in there that's just bizarre as hell and ridiculous. The person who made that show is smoking the ganja like hard, dude.
That sounds like somebody hitting it hard. That's what it sounds like. Okay, I learned I learned something today in a mic. I didn't know that, like, when people say I've been baking, that's a weed reference. Like, I didn't know.
Okay, I know which joke you heard.
This woman was talking about how she baked and she baked everything at the dispensary, but she settled on the indica sativa hybrid. But her joke, of course, was I've been baking bread, sourdough, banana, and then she went into the other baking, and I had I try to be hip, current, but I was absolutely unaware. I learned something.
By the way, if you do it in the morning, you could be baking with bacon. So
yes,
yeah.
FYI there, okay.
Stacy, only if you eat bacon in the morning. She's just kind of giving me a weird look here. Disapproval for the joke. Fine. Maybe we'll talk about people that do really good jokes, because we want to talk about today our favorite stand-up specials that we've ever seen. Before I go and ruin the mood, everybody else go first. So,
You want me to go first, or
yeah,
okay?
go for it.
The one I remember my dad taking me to first, I believe, was Eddie Murphy Raw.
Oh,
And that and granted, I was not the proper age to go see that. I'm just gonna say that right now. Okay, that's where my dad's amazing. He's like, "Oh, you want to see Sea of Love with Al Pacino? It's rated R. Let's go."
how old were you?
Oh God, dude! When I saw that, I think anywhere between maybe like 6 and 8.
Yeah, I think that's when my dad took me to see Lethal Weapon.
You had a good dad too, then.
Yeah, that first scene, I was like, "What is she doing with the table? Why is she naked? Oh my God, do people do this?" So yeah.
They're communicating. They're just communicating. That's it. With their clothes off. Yes, just leave them alone. No,
Hey, and back then I thought that putting a gun in his mouth was the craziest thing I'd see Mel Gibson do. It's neat being proven wrong.
Oh yes, oh yes. I love his messages. He's so creative. No, but Raw, Eddie Murphy Raw, and then I believe after that was Richard Pryor. What is it, on Sunset? I think. I believe
Live on the
that's the
Sunset
one.
Strip.
Yeah, that one, and then just different random stuff like what was it? Comedy Relief with Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg, and Robin Williams. I used to watch those all the time when they were on HBO. Who was the other one? George Carlin. I don't remember all the names of the specials, but I pretty much have seen them all. Those are the ones that, at least right now, that come to mind. And then obviously modern wise, what Sticks and Stones, Equilibrium, Chappelle stuff. Really, anybody else is? I don't want to name like 20 of them. I'm sorry.
I got into stand up because, and I was young. I think I was maybe like 9 or 10, because of George Lopez when he came out with Jack in the Box. And mind you, I'm a kid, okay? I didn't respect the greats yet because I didn't know who the greats were yet. But it was insane. Like, George Lopez had created such an impact that you had all these 10-year-olds playing on their iPod shuffles Jack in the Box and Disneyland and all, his infamous jokes. And I didn't really understand stand-up. To me, it was, you hear a joke and next time you see a stand-up comedian perform, you think you're going to hear a brand new joke. You think you're going to be just as great. And I remember that, by the way, George Lopez is still great. I respect him more as an adult. I just didn't understand that as a kid. So when I saw his next stand-up special and I reheard those jokes, I was like, oh, what? But there was so much respect. Of course, Eddie Murphy. Gabriel Iglesias. I'm sorry. I love the Hispanic comedians.
My wife loves Gabriel Iglesias too, and I said it wrong. But that's how I say it.
Well, it was interesting
Can't
because
say it right.
we have mutual friends, and I worked with him once, and he's the biggest sweetheart ever. He's very, very, very humble. He's adorable. But from what they told me is he started out dirty as a dirty comic, and he went clean because he realized that he'd have much more success by staying clean because he'd had more options to do shows. So he went the clean route, and wow, now he's a household name now. So that's usually the common advice. More stand-up comics go ahead and repeat. It's, if you want more opportunities and more gigs, it's by staying clean, And I got the same response with America's Got Talent and all of them. It's like, dirty's great. I love dirty jokes, but you have more opportunities in reference to television and all that if you stay clean.
What a powerful question. Because I feel like 2 questions have emerged, like favorite comic or like most comic that most inspired you as well as specials. So like specials is an interesting space for me. So honestly, and I hope his name is not too taboo with us or our audiences, but honestly, the most captivating stand-up special that I watched early was honestly Bill Cosby himself. Because
sleepy.
You're so crazy. So whatever you say, about whatever, that was extremely captivating because it was the first time that I really saw like someone like just sit in a chair and do this storytelling. And I remember when he talked about I don't know if anybody's seen it. There's this piece where he goes on about the dentist and how you have these burning smells and and I just connected with everything he said because those were all experiences I'd had, and they weren't, they weren't black or white experiences. They were just experiences. So I found that was probably the one that captivated me the most. But I think I'm still a kid because I was in high school. So for Delirious and Raw, I think by the time Raw came, I may have just gotten into Cosby. Seeing Eddie Murphy in this leather was amazing. But just rolling forward, two of my favorite female comedians are definitely Adele Givens in her early, some more, and even Melanie Camacho, because I just recognized that women could tell jokes, even though their subject matter was very adult, and to your point, a lot of it blue at times. It was just these women like doing this thing. My current, and I have to say, I just have a rolling kind of thing. My current favorite stand-up special is Ali Sadiq's Comedy Central special from like 2 years ago. Like, I know that's a very contemporary cat, but again, when YouTube said, you might like this, I was blown away and absolutely in love with how he told stories, everything he talked about. And so I would just say probably, while Carol Burnett is probably still one of my all-time favorites, period. Like, even though she's never done a stand-up special, just like the idea of a woman in comedy and flexibility and what she could do with her sketch show. But as far as just like straight up specials, it would have to be Bill Cosby with Adele and some more in the middle, and then all the way to Ali Sadiq right now. And I'm sorry, I like Aida Rodriguez. I like her. Like I do, as someone that I got to see before she got a huger name. I have followed her career from me finding her, being blessed to find her in the clubs, and then where she is today. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, some other people I didn't just hit me now, which is sad on my part. Joe Rogan, man, I saw him live so many times. I really liked him. I got to meet him actually, really very nice and humble. And then Joey Diaz, I really liked him. He's really dirty though, so if you don't like dirty stuff, it's not, it's not for you.
He's about all those things on the streets.
Oh well, hey man, he had a hard life, and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he in the mob or something?
No.
No,
we was hanging out. So hanging out with these guys. They practice La Croix. It's different than these guys doing Santeria. It's not that pussy shit that they do with Santeria. Yeah, that's what he does. He's just, but he is super crude the whole time, and it's just oh geez, man.
Oh no, yeah. He.
Him and Eddie Pepitone.
Oh yeah.
I have to look some of these people up. You guys, I'm so sorry. I have to pepper in Jamie Foxx, because I knew him as a stand-up before everything. And again, somebody I got to see early in his career.
And Living Color.
Yes, but even before that, seeing him do, like, the Wanda character came from this sketch or bit he had where he would just talk about the ugly girl. She didn't have a name when I saw her on stage. And he had a seminal piece where he would talk about the difference between being at a white wedding and a black wedding. And how, just all these things. And again, just seeing him at the Fox Theater in Atlanta in 1990, 30 years ago, I saw him on stage. And I thought, and I literally told everybody that I knew, I was like, he's going to blow. Like, I didn't know that it would be, 2004 Ray, a movie Oscar, but I was like, he's going to blow, you guys. He's going to blow. Chris Rock's too many names. All right, you guys, I'm sorry. Like, there's too many names. Chris Rock.
Oh, bigger, blacker, man. Bigger, blacker. Right. Dude, that thing's amazing. Oh.
And Chris Tucker in the early days, like, I haven't seen, I know he's done some stuff more recently with Netflix, but like his first appearance on Def Jam ever was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I love all of the early Def Jam stuff.
The very first time we saw Chris Tucker, like, he was a household name for, me and my tribe. Like, the next day, we were like, yeah.
Oh yeah. He's I think at least the new special that I saw, I'm not gonna I watched as much as I could. I'm not there yet, so congratulations to him on that effort and everything. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. He went completely different than what I was used to, so it really threw me off. It was funny, but it wasn't what I was used to.
I have to watch. Like, you guys, I mean, he has an amazing family. Son is grown now, because we both His son is about 3 years older than my son, and we used to actually go to church together. And he really, really, there's like, but I haven't watched anything, so I got to check it
Yeah.
out. I haven't watched
Well,
it.
Rush Hour 4, if all goes well, my fingers are crossed. I love the Rush Hour movies.
Really,
Oh
really.
yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, he's in a lot of movies that I love.
Right.
And I highly respect him. The other one that was on Def Jam that to this day is just one of my favorites of all time, Martin Lawrence.
Lawrence, you took it. Yes. Too many names, you guys. That's a hard question.
Run till that.
Run till that. Yes, very good question. Yes,
awesome.
yes.
But isn't it crazy how we have like we like all sorts of different types of comedy? Like I love Wanda Sykes. Like I can watch her stand-up specials nonstop. But then every now and then I like that really raunchy, stupid stuff that I wouldn't tell people out loud. Like and I'm sorry I'm saying this publicly, but she's great. Amy Schumer's Leather special, I was laughing like nonstop. Like I'm like, I cannot admit I like this publicly, but it's good. Like I was laughing. But it's so weird. Yeah, like and then I was watching I finally had time to watch Dave Chappelle's what was it?
846.
Yeah,
Oh,
846.
amazing.
And that was incredible. I mean, reality maybe told like 3 jokes throughout the entire thing, but
3.
it was such a powerful message.
It was good.
And I had to appreciate it. Like he used his platform, and I think they're filming right now Camp Chappelle, right? With Donna
a
Rowan.
lot of stuff. There's a lot of footage. He's trying to get it on Netflix.
So you guys have mentioned a lot of them. None of them are crossing over on my list, and that's fine. But I'm going to show you a little bit of what I'm into here. Of
Steve
course,
Martin.
there's the late, great George Carlin with his last special, It's Bad For You, his best one. Was his last one, and that one is actually more of a rant than a comedy special, but it was great. Now, Doug Stanhope's my number one favorite, but if you had to watch one at first, Beer Hall Putsch. Make sure the kids are in bed, and anybody who's easily offended is really on from that one because it's odd. He does such a great job, and basically, Doug Stanhope will do 8 stories in an hour, only 8, but they're amazing. Long stories, and it's just so good. And Beer Hall Putsch is funny because he's an edgy guy, so he named it after something that when Hitler was younger or something, he riled up a bunch of bar people to go out on the streets and get angry, and then he snuck out the back. He goes, "That's what I'm going to do tonight." So it was just to be like super edgy. That's what he picked it. And the funny thing is, the next one that I would say also has that something in the name that is there to misdirect you. Norm Macdonald's Hitler's Dog, Gossip and Trickery is one of the best Norm Macdonald ones ever. And what it is he has this little bit about there's only one person that could have loved him. It was his dog, because dogs love their owner, and he has this whole bit about it.
Wow, that's fun.
And of course, you got the great Mitch Hedberg. My favorite one is "Do You Believe in Gosh?" That is his just. He has so much energy in that. If you've seen the Comedy Central one, the problem with the Comedy Central special that he did, Mitch Altogether, is he came out and it's not his audience. It's Comedy Central's audience that came and they could afford the seats. When he does "Do You Believe in Gosh?", he's in front of his crowd, the people that came to see him, and it's just amazing. So, but then there's these 2 other specials in my mind. They always come in my mind, and it's not, well, the jokes are good, but the concept was so amazing. So Harlan Williams did Force of Nature for Netflix.
Love Harlan Williams, Rocket Man.
So no audience. He's screaming in the middle of the desert to the world. Is all his jokes with no laughter, no clapping. It's hilarious, and he's just yelling out into the world. It was so good. And then Maria Bamford's her old baby one. I think that's either the one where she did it in her living room with her parents, or she does it in her backyard with just friends and family. But the one where she did it in her living room with just her parents sitting there, and all you hear is their laughs at her jokes.
That's powerful.
I think it's the same special, yeah. And she was at a library or something, so she was switching in between. But it was really,
I don't know.
Maria is like art, like it.
Yeah,
it's her whole persona, her entire character is the joke in itself too. It's like
Yeah.
she could say the most stupidest thing, but then she'll make that weird face that she always does, and that's the joke. Like I don't know. I love Maria. Maria's great.
But yeah, my favorite living comic, they call him the comedian's comedian, and probably it's a certain group of comedians that call it, is Doug Stanhope, and he is not for everybody. But my wife will actually sit there. He can take a concept that would make her leave the room. She'll be on the edge of her seat laughing with the way he talks about it. And last time I went to one of his specials, he tells jokes about different cultures coming together, but he's making sure the whole time he says, by the way, I hate racists. If you're racist, you can leave my show right now. And he tells people that right away. He goes, I'm going to tell some jokes that are edgy, but if you're racist, you can leave the theater right now. I'm not telling them for you. and like, he's very strong on that. He's like, we're not going to have anybody standing up and saying, yeah, that's how it is. Like, no, these are jokes. Leave if you're going to be that way. Wow. And like, so I saw him live doing this. And the other thing about the guy, and many other comics have said this, he walks into the stage as if he just entered the conversation at a party and starts. And when the whole time he's on stage, you kind of feel like, oh, I've known this guy. This is my buddy from a long time ago, because the way he's talking to the audience. So definitely still living. George Carlin isn't, so I gotta prop up Des Stanhope. He still needs to do his stuff.
Yeah, I was supposed to go see Carlin before he died, and unfortunately, I was a little short on cash. Yeah. So I wasn't able to go, and then not even a month he died. I was so damn pissed.
Wow.
I was so pissed.
He is definitely one I respect. Someone gave me a wonderful compliment. I used to in my Toastmaster days, and I'm still in Toastmasters, but I posted one of my speeches that got me a lot of traction in Toastmasters. And one of the times that I came off the stage, somebody said, your observational humor is a lot like Carlin. And that was 5 years ago. And at that time, I was still afraid to even approach an open mic. Now I'm able to sit and do what would be the equivalent of a 6-minute set in front of like 300 people. But I totally was like, I don't know if I'll ever do an open mic,
One of the most interesting things about Carlin is that he was a clean comedian for a long time. When he decided, he talked to his producers and stuff, he goes, this is not going to last. I'm going to be Smother Brothered out of here. No one's going to like my stuff anymore.
Smothers Brothers. You brought it back.
Hey, I used to watch that too.
Me
so George Carlin risked, and he dropped 96% of his income to go to what he ended up becoming, to be the guy in black, Mr. Conductor. And it was a good move because it paid off in the end. He became one of the most legendary guys for actually reaching out and saying, I'm going to do what the young people like because they're going to buy tickets later and the old people are going to stay home, which isn't always true, but it worked for him pretty well.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's
powerful.
Oh, Glow Lava just said, I wish I could have caught Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks. Oh, I loved Bill Hicks. And the other thing about Bill Hicks, wouldn't he have made a great Joker? Think about Bill Hicks doing it his way. Just,
I can see it. I can see it.
Oh, because he would have made it his own. He would have been Bill Hicks and made it his own, which is just, that would have been sweet. Would have loved it.
Yeah. And actually, a lot of great comments over here. Bill Bellamy, Robin Williams, the great. You talked about comic relief. Hannah Gatsby, who actually did a show here earlier this year. Before times. I was just trying to see who else, but those are a couple of mentions there.
And another person that was a really good comic, and a lot of people didn't give him a chance because of his movie career and what they thought he would do. Bobcat Goldthwait. If you get to watch You Don't Look the Same Either on Netflix, he is amazing. He's just so good.
He was very funny. He's very funny, but I will watch the special. because he was somebody else that I grew up admiring and seeing when I was young. But again, I hadn't connected this idea that I would do that thing,
Yeah, well, he even talks about it. People go, oh, do the street. He goes, that's what I used to do. And it didn't work out well for too long. I'm going to stop doing that. And he even mentioned one of my favorite, it's not even on that special. There's another special where he talks about when he lit the chair on fire and why he did it. And it goes back to the fact that before that, he was on one of the last episodes of Arsenio Hall. Now, Arsenio Hall told him, do something crazy because they're canceling me. And so he went out and he, started a fire something. And Arsenio Hall had to wrestle on the ground while he held him on the ground. He goes, thank you so much. And So then Jay Leno books him, and he goes, "Oh, I guess people want me to do something crazy." So he lit a chair on fire, and then Jay Leno's like, "Why don't you like me?" He goes, "You saw what I did on the last show. When you bring me in, you know."
Yeah. Bobcat Goldthwait. Yeah. What was it? Police Academy 2 and 3, I think.
Yes,
And
somebody's
one.
typing.
In
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Oh, he was in one also. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are, I love those movies. Oh my god. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and I love it when he does his own version of Affleck Duck because he said, "Oh, Gilbert got, you know." What's funny is at a special, someone yells out "Affleck sucks" before he even talks about it. He goes, "You think I'm Gilbert Godfrey?" And then just on the spot, he goes, "But you know what? I could do the duck. I'll make it mine." Ah. So, you know what time it is.
Oh yes.
Woo!
Oh,
We
yes.
gotta bring in our first guest.
Woo!
Please, everybody, welcome Willie Macc.
Woo!
Yes.
Well,
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome.
What's up?
Well,
good people?
What's up? What's up? What's up? You actually with your glasses and your great afro, you're channeling Chris Rock right now, just a little bit.
Hey, it's trying to look like my logo right here.
right. Nice. And this is Chris Rock pre-gray, because now we've got a salt pepper.
I know.
We got a salt pepper.
Who do you appreciate comedy more from, pre-gray or post-gray Chris Rock?
Gosh, the thing is funny you should ask, Willie, because one of the things that was happening in our conversation, and even as my own mind thought, like every age and stage of my own life, these, there's different things. So like it's hard to say, because whatever he was doing pre-gray probably worked. Bigger and Blacker worked. I remember him talking about, I don't like, the N-word either, and and he says, when I'm at the ATM, I'm scared too if they walk, and so I could connect with that. But I'm sure now here we are in this other space a few years later, and we're all having a different conversation. Do you know what I'm saying? And even though it was a funny joke, and it certainly rang true. So for me, that's a hard question. For me, I can only say for me, everybody else answer. It's a hard question to answer because we're all rolling. And then because I'm, I know I'm younger than Chris Rock, but I'm probably closer to his age. So then I'm like, his kids are grown. My son just turned 18. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're just on pace like that in terms of what I appreciate.
You can't use that because my son just turned 18.
I know, but you got a special story. You got a beautiful, beautiful, funny, amazing story. Your story is
a hell of a story.
You do. You do. And we're trying to get into it. But I does anybody else? That was a great question. Pre-gray or
I mean, Tambourine on Netflix was really good.
I know. That's why I'm having a struggle with it. Yeah, like, Tambourine and Bigger and Blacker was
Bigger, Blacker was so good.
Yes.
Yep.
I've seen that probably like 10, 13, I don't know, maybe more. I own it on DVD still, and whenever it came on HBO, I would still watch it anyway.
Nice.
Here's what I think it is for some people, and I could be completely wrong, so I'll speak for myself. Like the Tambourine came from a deep place. Like it came from just the cheating aspect, some of the stuff that he's just been living through, and all this other stuff. He's finally got it off his chest. Whereas we quote Bigger and Blacker. We can that was just one of those other type of classics where it's kind of like, it reminds me kind of like Jay-Z. We rap Big Pimpin', but his the newest album that he had was like, whoa, he's over here rapping about stock markets and buying paintings. Like,
444.
444, yeah. So that's how I feel about it.
Especially that police brutality joke he had. That was really, really good.
Oh, yeah. It's still very relevant.
Yes.
I don't know. That's really
Now it got
now
quiet.
I want to go watch. Like now I'm like so focused. Like which one was better? I can't pick.
Right. And as soon as I get off here, I'm gonna go run and watch. And see like, okay, let me.
Yeah, she's gonna take notes. And then she's going to send them to Chris Rock. I thought this one, but then this one. And then here at 20 minutes, but you're 20 minutes at this one. This is... I think I'll give them both a 5 out of 5. And then you tell me which one you like doing the best.
Right.
That's how we'll determine this.
Two goats, though, would have Bernie Mac and Patrice O'Neal.
Bernie Mac. And like, thank you, Willie, because there were so many names running, and then it's so funny how there's a thing on your mind, and then when you start to talk, this other thing happens. But yes, the great Bernie Mac, another one I got to meet while he was touring with the Def Jam, and just how he just came and there was a takeover. You know, he's just power. And on Kings of Comedy, he came out, if I'm not mistaken, I know I saw it one time, all white. And so seeing this very, very, very dark man in this white was just always like this amazing, just this, you know, he did not come to play. He did not come to play with us. He meant business.
Jengalang. That's one of my favorite movies.
To be who I am. That's why my name is Willie Mac. I moved out here in 2004, and I didn't want to be in this industry at all. I came out here chasing a girl and went to college and all this other stuff. I knew nothing about this industry like that. Like, I grew up a preacher's kid, very sheltered in the Midwest. So the idea that people could get paid and just do comedy, because where I'm from, it was just called, you're acting silly, stop it. I didn't know there was something that could be encouraged, and if encouraged, it could just really have blossomed maybe years ago. So,
yeah, you're acting silly, stop it is what they tell me at my software job during the day. So,
but Willie, you got on the map first with College Hill, like fourth season of College Hill. So was stand-up always part of the vision, even when you were navigating College Hill?
No, I didn't start stand-up until after College Hill, because I started doing a lot of radio interviews. And people were like, "You're funny. Tell us a joke." And I never had a joke for them. I was like, "Oh man, I'm just goofy or whatever." That's like, you should be a comedian. You tell a joke. So I remember my first. Do y'all remember y'all's first joke ever?
Yeah.
I think it was about my silicone boobs.
Now, when you say your first joke, do you mean your first, like, "Oh, this is mine," and I tell it to multiple people?
Like,
what kind of layered question was that, man?
Well, like, I'm saying, like, the first joke you ever told, or the first joke that, like, you're just like, "Oh, I'm going to tell this to multiple people because it's mine," kind of joke.
Well,
is that what you're asking?
I have both. The first time, I didn't know it was like stand-up, but in 4th grade, I used to be this kid who used to act like his hand was alive. Like, I'll be in class, be like, "No, not right now. We'll talk later." And I act like I'm like the hands attacking me. Like, I was doing it, but it got all these people laughing. And I was like, I like this. So that was like my thing. And like, obviously now I know that could have been like a Robin Williams or Jim Carrey type stand-up. But then my very first joke was after College Hill. And it was, so I'm new to California. Since I've been out here, I've been shot at 4 times. My car was broken into and my place got robbed. But I got that taken care of because I broke up with that girl. Like, that was my very first joke I've ever written. It's in the books. So, yeah.
Isn't it interesting how, I don't know, but for me personally, making people laugh is to me, it's like a high. Like, I love making people laugh. Like, I get a kick out of it. Do you guys feel the same way when you do stand-up?
Very much. And actually, Willie, you took me back, because then I had to remember that the first time I ever did an open mic was like, I guess 20 years ago, and I quit. And I was like, what was? Like, I was thinking about the first jokes on this Born Again tour that I'm on, but like, I'm like, what was my first joke? And it was, I'm going to actually have to think about it, because it was just, I was working at Banana Republic. I just moved out here. And so I was working at Banana Republic in the Beverly Center. And I remember making jokes about the fact that when people would come in and ask for sizes, but I'm like, right now I'm stumped. I can't even really remember the joke. And I don't have the notebooks. It was just like, there was always this communication barrier. And I was new, and I was certainly new to California. So there was just a communication barrier when Latinos would come in and talk to me about sizes and different things. And I don't know, I found some humor in that. And I certainly found humor in some of the clothes, because I remember there was this dress I had, and it was like this straight dress. And my joke about it was that I looked like a black Barbie, because it was one of those like sleeveless, like just straight cut. And at the time, before children, I was just very straight, rail skinny. So I think I had this piece where I was like, I'm a Barbie in this, I don't know, in this dress, whatever. But I do have a question for you, Willie. So stand-up wasn't like the first thing, but so coming out of, because, you know, a lot of reality stars don't really, like, it doesn't always morph into much after this. I mean, you've got Omarosa, but that's not the example any of us, want to follow. What do you think kind of became your magic? This joke, like what do you think became your magic?
So back to Bernie Mac. So it ties in. So obviously, knowing nothing about this place, LA, and I was going to college, and I obviously needed some money. So someone was like, "Hey, you should do something called background work." I had no idea what this was. So I signed up. Started doing background work, and I was supposed to work one day on the Bernie Mac show. And so I go there. And I used to have this really big afro back in the day. I mean, like just massive. And I was one of those people that wore like the button-up shirts with the baggy jeans with like fake red Crocs on, like not Crocs, like crocodile dress shoes. Like I was, like, everybody knew I was not from California. One of those. So I'm walking in, and Kalita Smith, who played Bernie Mac's wife on the Bernie Mac show, comes up to me. She's like, "You're not from here. Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm from St. Louis." And then she's like, "Oh, my assistant's from St. Louis." She brings over her assistant. We find out we went to the same high school, different years. And as I'm talking to them, Bernie Mac comes out, and he's like, "Who's this melted milk dud y'all talking to?" And that one day turned into 6 days because Bernie Mac at this time was really sick. And so he couldn't do certain days and all this other stuff, but he was just the coolest person to me. And I was like, whatever it is this dude does, that's what I want to do. And that's when I started studying like stand up and being funny and all this other stuff. Then I found out Bernie Mac isn't his real name. Yep. I was like, what? We can change our names? Like his real name is Bernard McCullen, and my real name is William McMiller. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be Willie Mac and just add an extra C to be different." Like, so that's kind of how all of that came about.
Nice. All right, so you were clearly a natural, and from fourth grade, you were clearly a natural. But like, did you? One of the things that a lot of people do obviously out here is study. They go to the UCB, they go find a comedy teacher, they go like, did you find yourself studying or doing any of that work?
So I went through the whole UCB program, 101 to 401. I did not graduate because when I was doing 401, this is when comedy started picking up. So I was touring on weekends. And so I was never able to I missed one class too many. And they're like, "You gotta have to take 401 again." I was like, "I don't have to." Like, I got all I could get. Then I started doing I did the UCB sketch writing class, and I did flat. So I quit for 3 years because I did comedy from 2000 and maybe let's say 2008 until 2000 and like 10 and 2011 to be exact, actually. And I hated it because I was like, I'm not funny. I'm like, I'm up here, I'm doing my best. I'm being goofy. I'm being this guy. Why is no one laughing? And so the 3 years I took off, I became a TV editor I started TV editing. And then I was just missing the stage. I just felt this desire to just make someone laugh. And if you know anything about TV editors, they're all boring, man. They're the most boring people in the world. And so I took Flappers University's class just for something to give me that little taste of just something. Like I need to get back into it. So I did that to get that little thing. And then I figured out what was wrong with me while I was doing that. I was like, I wasn't being authentic. I was forcing myself to be goofy and silly and all this other stuff. And I'm like, people are like, your life is funny, Willie. You knocked up a lesbian who wanted to try out men. Like, what more do you need to talk about than that? And then it started developing, and I appreciated it, and I started studying, and then, here we are.
Wow. There's a lot of controversy afoot. There is an initiative about the diversity situation at UCB, in all these places. I don't even know if you're aware of this movement. A great group of folks got together and developed like a whole list of kind of demands of UCB when they reform. But I actually have like a kind of a different question for you. Even we'll go back to that. Like, you did what, you were in 3 Super Bowl commercials.
I was in 3 Super Bowl commercials
Like,
this year.
so running alongside of the acting, I mean, the comedy has been commercial acting. Like somebody's listening or will listen and be like, how did you crack that code? Like, because I saw a good friend of mine last year, Patrick Cage, get a Super Bowl commercial and get like I think he got a Super Bowl and an Emmy. So tell us about cracking that code, like 3 Super Bowl commercials.
Well, I haven't cracked the code to get a Super Bowl commercial and an Emmy, but the
Emmy commercial, not Emmy commercial, not Emmy.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Nice.
he ran his, so I was just, but I'm thinking you're still the GOAT, man, with three, so you're still the GOAT. You're still the GOAT.
So obviously you don't know that there's Super Bowl commercials. And because they'll say, hey, some of them they'll just be like, hey, it's just a regular audition. It's funny because most actors do not want Super Bowl commercials. I was in one last year, and here's why most actors do not want the Super Bowl commercials, because they usually only air it that one time during the Super Bowl. So that means we still get paid SAG scale, so we only get that one residual, and then it's over. Super Bowl commercial is cool on paper, like, yeah, you was in these Super Bowl commercials. I saw you, but you like, yeah, I brought home maybe $2,700, and like that's it. Like, there's no residuals, or it's not playing again. So once I got my first taste of the Super Bowl commercials last year, I was like, cool. So when I booked these 3 spots or whatever, I was like, awesome. They're like, yeah, they're Super Bowl commercials. I was like, okay. So it's one of those things. Like, it sounds good on paper, but here's what it was about me in commercials. Because 2014, I was over being a TV editor, and I was like, I want to figure out commercials so bad. So what I did specifically, what a lot of people do not do, like they'll take a couple commercial classes, or they take this one and that one, and they're probably bomb commercial classes. You learned everything you could. But what I did differently was I took every commercial class by casting directors. So are they basic? Am I tired of slating my name because I don't know how to slate my name? Yes. But now I'm in this casting director's face every week. So I was doing 3 at a time, and I did them multiple times. So they're like, Willie, what's up, Willie? So then I didn't know me. Now I'm inviting them to my comedy show. So I built up a relationship with these casting directors. And I told a couple people this, like, it's not necessarily a secret that I have, but it's something that I did. And I hear people kind of, and I get it, but it's like, I'm gonna explain. Let me just say it. Let me get my thoughts out. A lot of the biggest thing people say is, I cannot afford it. And I'm like, you can. I mean, you might not have $400 right now, but if you put aside $20, I didn't have the $400 at first. I put the $20 aside every week until I was able to. It took me a few months to get that money. And so, but I did it because I wanted it. Maybe I'm not doing Starbucks today. Maybe I don't need to go do a couple mics today because that's $10, $20, $30 I'm spending a week on this. But I knew that if I get one commercial, it could, kind of set things off. So that's kind of the route that I did. So now I've developed these relationships. I massaged them, and they bring me in. And when they bring you in, they'll take a little bit more time with you. They'll be like, all right, Willie, actually, we're going to scratch this one from the tape, but do XYZ, because we heard the director really wants to see blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, good luck. Yeah, so that's kind of what my secret to success is, and I've done well.
That is a great thing. No, actually, honestly, that is so smart. Actually, I a couple of people asked me about voiceover, and there's big known schools like Kalmanson and Kalmanson, and a couple of others. But I came across this new school called Voice Masters, and they're actually the casting directors for a bunch of movies on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Guess what? The first people they go to are their students, because they've already worked with them directly and are so much more easier to go ahead and give instructions and direction to. it's the smart thing. I mean, you're investing in yourself when you take classes, whether it's flappers. I did flappers. That's actually how I decided to go into stand-up. You're investing in yourself, and you have to make the decision whether drinks at Perch are worth it, or or yourself.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's completely true, and it's those things that people who don't want to. I feel like if you like, yeah, I smoke weed, but if I had to choose, a lot of the comics that complain about it smoke, and they're like, I can't afford it. I'm like, how'd you get that? How'd you get that blunt? Are you out there giving hand jobs? No, you paid for that. Just put that to the side and invest in yourself. So yeah, I'm completely with you on that.
Wow, amen. And that's the discipline. And that's actually great advice, because I'm doing a lot of voiceover auditions, but I'm still looking the book, and I'm like, I gotta crack the code on this. Like, like I'm excited, I got an agent, but it's all beautiful, but you want to book work. So that's, that's the thing. So we talked about your son a little bit earlier, we touched on it, but how, obviously he's cool with it. I just actually started including my child in my stand-up, and so he's kind of but how does your son feel being like such a great centerpiece? And I mean, you have one of the greatest stories ever, but yeah, how does your son feel about it?
It took some time. I started talking about him in maybe 2014, and it wasn't until last year that I kind of told him, like, look, I'm about to go full throttle on your ass. So this is just what it is. People seem to like me making fun of this whole craziness. And not just did I sit him down, I sat my son mom down. I'm like, I'm about to start telling people that I got a gay baby mama, and this is not so that was my way of trying to get their blessing, but also let them know, like, just work with me, because I can promise you I can probably get a TV show off this in a few years. Just roll with the punches. So they kind of like whatever. But I did have a conversation, because I just started talking about her, and I just posted a clip on TikTok, because my numbers on TikTok are like crazy. Like, all I do is post my stand-up clips on TikTok. That's it. If you look at my TikTok, it's just my stand-up, and my last one got like 1.3 million views. But I mean, I got a few millions of those type of views ones. So. But I'm talking about my daughter, and my daughter's story is very interesting. So my son, she's really just my son's sister, but her dad's not in her life at all. So at 4, because I have my son all the time, she's like, can you be my dad too? So I adopted her. And
How old were you?
Oh,
at that time?
This was 11. Yeah, this was 11 years ago. I was like 24. I'm really bad at math, so I hate that you're trying to make me do math right now.
I got you. I got a math degree. I got you.
So
carry the one.
To carry the one divided by.
Is it 11-teen? I think it's 11-teen.
We don't need you to show off, Dana. Okay, we know you know your math.
I didn't say nothing. That was Dan. I didn't say nothing. I just want to help if he needs a lifeline.
Yes, I'm showing off my math by saying 11-teen.
But it was more than just the okay to it. It's like, how do you say no? Even if I wanted to say no, I'm not monsterish enough to see this little 4-year-old girl be like, can you be my dad too, mister? Like, oh, yes. Like, come on, little kid. Do I regret it? Hell yeah, easily. She's crazy as hell. She's a psychopath. But she's my psychopath, and I love her to death. So I had a conversation with her, because I'm like, she's very sensitive. She's a little heavier set, and she just came out that she was gay to me, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Is it cool if I talk about this? Like, can we? So she was like, I don't want you to talk about these type of things, but you can talk about this stuff. So I made sure that it's okay with everybody when I'm talking about them within reason. If it's like, I don't want you to say that I got pink hair, I'm like, all right, you're losing this argument. But if you don't want me to talk about your weight, or you don't want me to talk about what you're into, then I respect that. So yeah, that's kind of the process of it. But my son, I don't necessarily care about at all. Like, I'm like, you getting all this work, homie.
Yes, I saw the pee in the bathroom and then the twerking in the shower. That I was like, oh no.
Kids are so literal. They're so literal. And I didn't know it because I'm still young myself. So I don't know to tell the kid. First of all, I shouldn't have told my son to use the bathroom in the shower anyways. I should have just said, get out the shower and use the bathroom. But
you learned that on your own anyway. So
I'm like,
there's a drain. There's a drain.
So that's kind of how that's a little bit of that. But then it started getting interesting when my son is now working a full-time job, and I talk about this in my stand-up. Like I had to borrow money from my son to pay child support on him. Like that's something that because I'm not working as a comic right now. So it's like, how do you say this type of stuff? So I talk about it in my stand-up. My stand-up is my life story with some little twists and turns in it.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you that was kind of like the way the government uses money, right? Like borrow it from your son to pay child support on him, you know, it's a government process.
Oh my goodness, that's probably where I got it from.
What is your son now? Okay, so what is your son's job? What does he do?
So my son's a graphic artist. He draws.
Yeah, nice.
The tools that they have nowadays just almost feel like cheat codes.
Yes.
I had Oregon Trail. Like
you had what?
You remember that game Oregon Trail?
Yeah. Yeah. I died of dysentery like 40 times.
Yes. I didn't know until last year. Last year that Minesweeper, you're not supposed to find the bombs. Like I always thought you wanted to find those. So,
only if you want a medal.
Only if you want a medal?
Yeah. If you find them, he give you a medal when you come back.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even. I like now they're playing. Like my son has 3 monitors set up in his room, and there's like it looked like he's playing. He's in a whole nother world. He's playing. My son's also a professional. Like I don't say professional. He streams on like Twitch and YouTube with his gaming. And he's like, Dad, I got to do this because I'm in a $20,000 tournament right now. It's like, well, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fortnite, Call of Duty.
It's funny.
Call of Duty and NBA Live.
Wow.
Yeah, my kids showed my mom like they watch like Infinite and Unspeakable. These guys, you know, they're clean guys that play video games. Mom's like clowning on him. Is this what he does with his whole life? He just plays video games and people watch and I go, he's got a bigger house than you do, Mom.
And now they're considering it a sport at colleges. Like you can get it's an e-sport scholarship. Yep. Like you can go to like top colleges, offer scholarship and just playing video games. And I'm like.
Yep.
Whoa.
You gotta like insure your thumbs for $1 million each. Yeah.
Well, they're trying to get it.
Have insurance on them. Like my son bought a Xbox controller that's $250. He's like
elite.
Yeah, that's what it. Oh, you a gamer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It is the elite, and he's like, yeah, Dad, look, it doesn't like when you hit the gun button, it doesn't go all the way down for a quicker reaction time. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, I'll give you them. I'll help you out. Like I set him up. He got like this green screen with the lights and I forget the Delgado, so he can or the Elgato or something like this.
Save his clips. Clips.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I do that stuff too.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Like,
I
Okay, can you guys like file for workers' comp for carpal tunnel as a gamer, professional gamer?
Funny.
I mean, if you're making enough where you could pay into workers' comp, like you privatize yourself and you pay into it, then you can pay yourself back. But I don't know if that's a loophole that only certain people go through or something. I don't know.
All I know is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Like this is like, cause my son games, he's a PlayStation guy and he is a visual artist. I'm trying to get him into graphic design. He's going to Otis for art, but he wants to do like character animation. But I'm thinking, man, you're already a gold mine with this video gaming thing. Like, what are you doing? Like, so I'm like, I feel like I want to light a fire under him. Those are great numbers.
Those are they're great numbers. The thing is, he got to find his niche. Like. What's gonna make him different from everybody else? Something that I was telling my son was, use some of your money to put towards advertising. Like, how do you find you like make sure you're doing the right tags and like I'm like if you want to go full throttle in this, you're gonna have to do this like I do stand up. And then with stand up, there's a plenty of years and shows that I'm doing for free that people are like, are you really just doing stand up? Like, what is it? Like, shut up. This is if you're gonna be passionate, Malcolm. Go all in. And I'm trying to talk my son out of college anyways because I just found out that if he goes to college, I got to pay child support until he's 21. So I'm encouraging the El Gato all day.
Are you serious?
Yep.
It's kind of funny because William Davis just made a comment about something my daughters play, and they also watch videos of other people playing this Roblox game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's not the best graphics, but there's tons of stuff. I play paintball with them, and they go, "Well, it's paintball," and they go, "Yeah, then why did I blow up after it hit me? That's a badass paintball gun, you know." And it's
That's
like, well,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
but
that-
it's
that's
pretty
The
good.
Roblox. That one, it's just like those little. It look like Legos. Like I'll watch them play Fortnite, but even with Fortnite, it's too fast to watch on screen. It's like build, shoot, fly, skip. It's like visually, it just messes with my eyes, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with checkers. Like I like
Yeah.
you want to checkers, but no, me all day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
my,
mean, the thing I like about Roblox is that my kids want to watch scary games. But, you know, I really don't want to watch some of the scary games, but they actually have scary game versions put into Roblox where it's like, oh, the Lego granny's going to get me. And it's like, it's like, well, and they're like, oh, it's scary, Dad. And I go, sure, yeah, that's scary. Keep watching.
Well, that's you know, it's crazy. I watched my daughter play that Roblox stuff, and then I see some of the people who are playing it and posting videos on YouTube, and when you see the numbers they're getting, it's insane.
Right.
It is,
It's
yeah.
insane. One guy she
Millions and
watches-
millions.
Yeah, he's got like 4.75 something million, and all he's doing is like, hey, acting like a freaking idiot.
Hi, I'm Preston. Look at me, bro. I hit that, bro. Yeah, I make fun of that part of it.
Just having spasms.
I ain't
and,
gonna
you know,
lie, bro.
They got like severe like Tourette's or something.
Well,
And yeah, it's really crazy, man.
It's funny you say that though. So you mentioned how your parents would take you to raunchy movies as kids. My dad would take me to scary movies as kids. So not only would we get the nudity, we'd get the gores with it too, right? And my dad was a gamer, so he came to this country like in his like late 20s. So English very horrible, but gaming was his one super American thing. And
Wow.
he would play games and I would watch him nonstop. Like I watched him play Resident Evil 2, like all those games. So I grew up watching people play games and I loved it. To this day, I still watch people play games. I like gamers. That's why I usually date gamers. And I dated this one gamer who would stream on Twitch. And he was one of those guys, the typical, you know, all like his roommates all games, so they would be playing the same damn game in the same household and it'd just go on for hours. He would ignore me completely. The great thing about Twitch is apparently you can get money donated to you. When I was there, I would just walk by and he would get like $20 donations. So apparently you need women to make money on Twitch. And it was great. I was like, great, you can buy me dinner today. But I did break up with him when he called me bruh.
What?
Oh, wow.
What's up, brah?
Bruh.
I ain't gonna lie. You're my favorite friend, brah. Ain't gonna
I'm
lie.
like, I was like, you're a 26-year-old man. Why are you calling me bruh?
Hey, Willie, we have more show. Would you like to stay with us for the rest of the show?
Yeah, let's see what y'all talking about. Let's do it.
All right.
All
Just
right.
before we bring in our next guest, we just got to do a little 5 minutes in between, and we're going to talk about today's Idiot of the Week.
Idiot of the week.
If you want to share my screen there, Stefan, it's in the backstage. Trump wants to reopen schools. Hint, it's not just about education. No, of course it's not. First of all, if anyone cares less about education, it's this dude. Okay? Just listen to him talk once, or when he talks about Yosemite, which is like him, like, you know, trying to be cool while he waves to a friend. But, like,
Oh yeah.
this guy
He's trying to get rid of TikTok because it gets more attention than him, probably.
Right.
Oh,
Heard.
yeah.
I
Well,
heard.
well, the whole thing about this is that his whole thing is about bringing the economy back. And I don't know about you, but I made shit money when I was in elementary and middle school. Like, they didn't pay me at all. They made me go. And if they paid me, it would have been more enjoyable, I think, at least. I mean, school is good. But, like, you go there and they give you books and you go, what are these? And they go, you got to read all those. All those? You got to do all these problems? Like, are you serious? I'm only 11. I don't want to. And so, I mean, what does anybody else have to say about this guy that wants to open schools? And some of the excuse I've heard is, well, we'll just teach the kids to stay away from each other, keep their mask on, and stick to the rules the whole time. Anybody with kids here think that works?
Okay, well, what I know for sure, if you've ever taught before, especially small children, you can't keep them away from each other. That's the thing, and you just on so many levels, it's absolutely ridiculous. Because even I just think about the kindergarten classrooms and all the shared bathrooms, like, and all of the germ pots, like just the cauldron of virus and the cauldron of things that they can exchange. And you're not going to be able to me keep, especially, I just really think about small children. If you could better regulate older children. It's just a ridiculous notion. Clearly, he has no connection to his own kids or their time in school or anything about school. He's clearly never talked to a teacher or any of us who have spent time knowing that these babies, they trade food, they trade lunch, they touch each other, they touch stuff, they touch they share everything. We teach them sharing, for God's sake. We teach them to share. We promote sharing. So now our major tenet of making you a great citizen, and what are you going to share? The coronavirus? Yeah. So no. Yeah.
I volunteered. I mean, look, as an example, I volunteered last year for my friend. He's a teacher at this first grade class, and I helped him for winter break. And if I recall, a little girl went to me and was like, teacher, Timmy put a booger on me. Look. Like, what chance do any other kids have? Like, there are no boundaries. They don't care.
Yep.
They don't know any better. They called me a teacher. They don't know.
Oh yeah, they don't wash their hands, man.
No, no, yeah, kids will go and I used to catch my kids. Hey, go wash your hands, brush your teeth. They go into the bathroom and then they like turn on the water and stand there. And I go, if you're gonna be here, do the thing. Like they're like, no, this rebelliousness comes from you, Dad. So
definitely no boundaries. Bless their hearts. Like, kindergarten is merely the arbitration of getting you from home habits to potential life habits. It's just an arbitration space. And so like kindergarten, like that's just, we're just trying to turn you into someone who can go to school in kindergarten. And then first grade is just a one-off of kindergarten. It's not really first grade. You have a few geniuses, but it's just a one-off. We're still trying to arbitrate you from a person who knows how to function at home with naps and food around the clock to someone who knows how to listen to a bell and march around a yard. So,
by the way, doesn't this picture look like someone just asked him, who's your favorite date night? Is it Melania or Ivanka?
Oh my Lord. Well, that's another thing. How's he gonna help people with schools when he himself probably hasn't even really gone to school or probably hasn't even graduated? Does he know
he went to school.
Are?
He just
okay.
He just would slip a 50 and go, I'm having an A today. Or his dad would,
Or his dad would.
Does he even know what a book is?
Sorry, one of my favorite things that I saw about this whole situation is that I saw it as a meme, but it's also true. It was like, how do you want to push back the election, but you don't want to push back reopening schools?
Yep.
And I was like, dang, that's right. You want these kids out here, but the grown folks they don't know how to act, but you expect kids to know how to act? It's like,
actually, sometimes adults have been a worse example in certain times. Like, we teach kids to share, and then later on they go, I don't want to pay for anybody's stuff. It's like, oh, okay.
So there's this weird conspiracy, and apparently Trump just elected somebody else to handle USPS, right? The United Postal Service. And as of this week, mail is so delayed. My priority 2 day mailing stuff is still in transit over a week later. Coincidentally, he's trying to put, I have multiple things going out from the office. I have calls like, where's my package? Where's all this? It's mailed out. It's out of my hands. But how is it now, the timing seems so suspicious with the fact that he's trying to push and postpone voting through mail. So that is a conspiracy. Absolutely, I can't confirm it. But mail was fine about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Now everything's just pretty much delayed.
Even Obama said that at John Lewis's in his eulogy at John Lewis. He said the exact same thing. He said, "Do you all think it's it is an accident that we need to mail out votes, but now mail is under siege." So you spot on.
And Trump actually admitted, "Well, I mail in my vote because it's okay for him to do it."
Yeah,
that's like no, it's more of that attitude. We're the real Americans, and all you that believe in the melting pot are not. Wait, what? Like, how is that crap happen? Hey, this is an awesome conversation, but we have another guest, and we got to make sure we give her the right amount of time.
Yes.
We're going to bring on. Actually, does someone else want to do this introduction today?
I
do a lot. Go for it, Stacy.
So this is the first of our paranormal series. We're going to go ahead and bring people in with really cool jobs. Or do we consider this careers? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to bring in Jupiter Valentine, and she will go ahead and identify. So Jupiter, are you considered a psychic, a tarot reader, a witch? What do you consider yourself?
I feel like I have many abilities, so there's many things, or not many things, but there's a few titles I would call myself. So I would say it's definitely psychic mediumship, intuitive tarot readings, healing work, but as well as being a practitioner of witchcraft. So definitely a witch/healer, in my opinion.
So I don't know about you guys, but as a little kid, in Hispanic culture, it's known that, brujeria is so bad, all this stuff. But in reality, there's a lot of things here that it's pretty accepting, like Wiccans, and, a lot of people are out there and they do all this sorts of stuff. And I'm actually going to ask Jupiter, because I honestly don't even know the difference. What is it between... what is it? Is witchcraft good? Is it evil? Is it like they say on television that it's bad? What is your entire opinion on all of that?
I feel like the TV makes it look bad and is a lot more dramatic with it, which makes sense due to it being Hollywood, and they use this for movies. But as in for it being good or bad, I feel like we have many things that have been pushed into witchcraft. But we do have healers. We have people that are shamans. We have curanderos, which is also healers, and when they heal people through taking out energy. But for the most part, I feel like what I would consider bad is taking advantage of people in this with your abilities, or being petty and casting spells for petty reasons, or just attacking random people. But for the most part, I feel like it also depends on the individual, any practitioner, and how they go about their magic.
Yeah, I think I can't have those kind of abilities, because the first time someone's taking too long in the line at Baskin Robbins, I'm just I just can't take it.
I said 2 scoops.
Yeah. You know what you want. You knew what you wanted before you came in here. What are you looking at the glass for?
Okay. So we're going to go into another thing that was so interesting. So I came across Jupiter through TikTok. Jupiter has a bunch of cool videos. So I think all of us are on TikTok, but Jupiter has some great videos. I'll have her submit later her handle. We'll go ahead and post that on our Instagram and on our Facebook. That way you guys can follow her. But she mentioned something that I'm actually also unfamiliar with, which is called La Santa Muerte, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
She's actually a deity that originated from Mexico, and she's very well known in the LGBTQ community due to providing protection for individuals when it comes to, they tend to experience a lot of negative things. And she provides protection from when they have to walk home at night, or when they just need to have a safe day when they're going out and about. But she's also very well known in, like I stated, the Mexican culture, and a lot of us work with her for education purposes, protection purposes, abundance. She's a very well known spirit and one that I definitely am proud to work with.
Okay, so she's a spirit. She's not like a demon, nothing like that, right?
Absolutely not. She was part of the Catholic Church for a moment until they realized that she was made of bones. She's sorry, she has like a skull face and all that. And due to that, they decided to cast her out. But she was actually considered a saint for a moment. So that's why you would hear some people call her Saint of Death, or they address her as Holy Death. But she's definitely not a demon.
It's
Yeah, and-
interesting because some of the biases that people have about certain looks of certain things, like even horns and fangs, that all comes from way back in our our early stages of man, and we go, well, that thing with horns can gore you, that thing with teeth can bite you. Things with horns and teeth, I'm going to stay away from them. And then we started drawing them into certain things, but we also started attributing this to things that people had biases against. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the big question I think we all have, and I am really, really curious about, especially because I grew up in a very scary household.
You like haunted houses?
Haunted houses. Okay, okay. So I believe in it. I don't know. I'm sure some of you guys are skeptical, but I definitely believe in haunted houses. I believe that there are things out there that, make noises, wooden floors creaking, things falling from the mantle. I mean, I've seen it all firsthand and nobody being there. And then you go into stories like Zach Bagans' Museum, Ghost Adventures, like all this stuff about items being haunted and you hearing noises or things moving by themselves that just don't make sense, like the scary dolls and stuff like that. Do you personally believe that houses can be haunted by entities, or do you believe like dolls and stuff can be haunted, like a haunted chair?
Definitely. I've actually done some house cleansings myself where I had to cast negative spirits out, and it's been challenging, but it's definitely real. We even have certain ways in magic where we can give spirits offerings and they can attach themselves to them. So, as in, for if things can be haunted and if it's real, it's definitely a yes.
Wait. What do you mean, like offerings? Like, do you just offer another item to say, here, stick to this instead? Or what do you mean?
We have different ways of offering things to spirit. So in my case, when it comes to La Santa Muerte, as an offering to her, as an exchange of her for doing certain things for me, I give her food items, or for this example, I actually made a song devoted to her that's actually going to come out next week, and it's talking about how I appreciate her, and it's dedicated to her. So it's just a way of appreciating the spirit and also letting it know that I'm preaching about it one way or another. I hope that makes sense.
That's interesting. So, in a way, okay, yeah, it is an offering. Like, now we go back to how can you tell what's good and what's bad when it comes to these entities? I mean, something falls off the wall, or you hear creaking on the wooden floors. How can you tell if it's good or bad? Like, is there some type of like things that stick out?
The way the energy will shift in the room, the way you will feel the vibrations. Also, it tends to feel either a little cold or hot. But definitely, the one thing that will let you know is your intuition, which I feel all of us have an intuition and we're all strongly or in a way connected to it. And the way to fully tell, I feel, would be through your intuition.
I have a quick question. Like, I thought I heard you say that you give food offerings?
Yes.
So like, how does that work? Like, because I'm thinking of food like how I consume food, but obviously that would not be the way that a spirit would consume food. So how does that work?
There's different things we do. So every morning, every now and then, I might want to get up and make her a cup of coffee. And I'll put it on her altar where I have all her statues, all her candles. And I'll give her coffee, or I'll cook rice for her. And I'll leave it on the plate and I'll let her know that's for her. And I let it sit on the altar. or I buy her bread. If it's packed up, we'll just let it sit on her altar. And the way it works, it's like consumed by her energy, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And that's how she takes that in.
Okay.
Now, is there a way that she lets you know if she doesn't like a particular type of food?
Yeah, she'll. It's interesting how things can go. There's certain experiences I've had where the spirit will knock it over, and they'll let me know it's a no. So they'll knock it over, they'll drop something, or in some cases, not with me, but I've heard people say that they were about to place a plate down on the altar, and something smacked the plate out of their hand.
Wow.
So they'll strongly communicate with you and let you know they don't approve of a certain food or offering that you want to give them.
Or maybe if they have food allergies or they're gluten-free or something like that, right?
You overcooked the rice.
Yeah. They'll let you know. It's like, oh, I'm lactose intolerant. Please don't give me milk right now.
I'm vegan. I'm vegan.
Because I'm really going to make the energy shift in this room if you give me some milk. You're gonna smell it. You're gonna hear it. It's gonna happen.
What about possessions or stuff like The Exorcist?
Possessions, they're definitely real. I feel like a lot of the times they're viewed as negative, but it's also a way to communicate with the spirit and it deliver messages through you. So I have experienced a bit of this, and I feel like it's not fully negative. It's actually quite interesting the way your voice changes, the way you somehow lose control over your body.
So you're saying that not all possessions are bad. Some are
Yes.
good, and they're just saying, you know, I mean, what kind of messages would they be relaying? Is it like, find my body at this location, or hey, what's up? I'm bored. Like, what kind of messages are they meant to go ahead and relay?
Yeah, depending on what work I'm trying to aim for, but in some cases, certain spirits I've worked with, they've possessed me, and it's more so to speak to me about traumas I need to work on or things I need to acknowledge that are in my subconscious mind that are holding me back and not allowing me to grow. There's a particular spirit that I communicated with and ended up possessing me, and she was having me stare at the mirror and speak things about myself that made me very uncomfortable, but it was just due to the lack of confidence I had within myself. And they'll make you do things that push you out of your comfort zone, but it's really to make you grow.
Is there a possibility that a spirit from a long time ago would be watching Stefan play a video game and go, I want to try that, take over his body so that they can try playing the game?
There are some walk-ins like that, yes.
Oh,
Wow.
So that's what
my
happens when I play guitar.
My mom's urn is right next to my desk, so you know.
Wow.
Really?
Oh yeah, she's in one of my comedy skits too. Not out of disrespect though. She would have wanted to do it regardless.
So Jupiter, this is powerful because like there's like I'm thinking about that. It feels like all of us have probably been possessed at some point. Then, like honestly, like really, like seriously, like I just like you think about a performance or you think about something. This space where you knew that there was something bigger than everything that you have humanly studied, but then something took over. Yeah. And so I feel like I would submit that we've all been possessed, but we weren't
at some point. Yes.
And
that's why I said that thing to my girlfriend. Oh, damn.
Nate asked if you video document your stuff. Is that like private, or do you feel that I mean, a lot of people, have experiences and then they say that video documentation could either make it worse or, do you document this stuff?
I have in the past. I just try to make sure that the spirit is okay with it. Due to me connecting with it, it's almost like if they're giving me permission as well to have them come forward. So I always make sure I ask them for permission. And if I do record it, I ask them beforehand if it's okay to make it public or if they'd rather me just keep it to myself. But I feel like it definitely can anger a spirit, yes.
Now, another question that we also had was, I mean, you've seen them everywhere. You go down Hollywood Boulevard and there's like 20 of them, like tarot card readers. How can you tell which one's actually a real reader and who is just like trying to take your money?
So who's a con man and who's legit?
I feel like the ones that will be fake, in my opinion, are the ones that are very much so, oh, there's something going on with you. I see it. You need to come in and get a reading. That are very persistent about it. Or the ones that are like, there's a message for you and you don't want to listen. You need a reading. I can't tell you unless you get a reading. I feel like those are the ones that are very much so trying to take advantage of the individual by trying to play that card of there's negativity surrounding you. But as in for the real ones, you want to make sure that they have testimonials or they have people around vouching that they're legit.
And one of an interesting one of the big cons that has ever been, if you go see the Winchester Mansion, there was someone that was took advantage of the wife of she was the heir of the, not heir, but I'm saying the wrong word, but she had the
Widow?
Winchester. Yeah, she was the widow of the guy who did Winchester rifles. And someone came to them and said, hey, there's a lot of people that are upset with how many people your rifles have killed. In order to make it good, you have to build on your house. Here's my husband's contractor card. And she bought it. And that's why the Winchester Mansion has things like stairs going to nowhere. They just go into walls. They have rooms that have no doorway into them. There's strange windows in different places. And
Oh, wow. I never heard of
it's yeah, I did it for a year. It's in San Francisco. They do tours. It's an amazing place.
Oh, I'm gonna
Wow.
have to check that out.
Yeah.
That's
So-
interesting.
The Winchester House. Yeah, that's actually really interesting. People always questioned her that she was mad, but what was it? I didn't know that she had hired a psychic or a tarot reader, and that's how it happened. I thought it was, she said that the house was possessed by all the spirits the guns had killed. I honestly thought that's what drove her to do that. I didn't realize that she had.
Well, it was exactly what Jupiter is saying here. Is that this person looked for her, found her, and came to her and said, "I can help you," and told her that this was happening, and she believed her, and her husband was the contractor that was doing the house stuff.
That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, and it's weird that it worked so well for such a long time. But then again, no social media back then, less people you could talk to. I mean, there was, and you didn't have as big as a community around you to say, hey, does this seem okay to you? Does it seem, as you said, legit? So it could happen. I mean, there could be people that, seek you out for those kind of purposes, unfortunately.
Ronnie had a question. Do you ever catch a vibe from strangers, like walking by someone and feeling they really need to talk to you?
Yeah, it's happened a few times actually when I was working at Metro PCS. I would have customers come in that were so stressed out, and you could just tell that, or at least I could tell that they were not mentally okay. And there would be, I remember this one lady, I was like, I don't know what's going on in your life right now, but things are going to be okay. I feel like somebody around you passed away. She's okay, but she's more so worried about you. And she just looked at me and grabbed her stuff and just said, in a weird way, thank you, and ended up walking away. And in other circumstances, I had a male come in and I was telling him about his ex-wife and how she's very envious. And he was like, I didn't know this part. And he was actually quite impressed. And he thanked me a lot because he actually needed that closure due to some drama going on between them. So when it's time to really deliver messages, I'll definitely deliver them.
Wow.
Wow.
No.
And in this time of COVID, are you able to sense those things, like even through things like Zoom, or is that too far away, or is there an ability to that?
Like,
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of people doing tarot readings on Instagram, period. So there's a lot of that out there.
oh, you mean like is it possible to do readings that way?
Yeah, through read one of us or read somebody through Zoom or through StreamYard. Thanks, StreamYard. For letting us do this. But I was curious about that because right now we're in time, people are in lockdown, and they probably still are looking for services, but they want to stay safe at the same time.
It is possible. The way everybody has a weird way of doing it, or not weird way, but different way of doing it. The way I do it is I call on the individual's spirit guides and spirits that could be around it, and they deliver the messages to me. Sometimes I don't need to see the individual either. I'll just pull out my cards, I'll ask certain questions, and I get the response.
Now, when you
Mm.
say spirit guides, you mean like, does everybody have a spirit guide? Is it like a guardian angel? Like, what are spirit guides?
I consider angels different compared to spirit guides. Your spirit guides would be more so the people around you that have passed away that will look out for you or will protect you. They'll guide you. They're also the voice that you might hear sometimes, letting you know this isn't correct or something's wrong or something's off. Despite having the intuition, sometimes we'll hear different voices around us trying to guide us. That's what would be your spirit guides.
Whoa. Okay. You know, I made a joke recently. I always say that I try to avoid doing stupid stuff because I know my dead boyfriend's probably watching. So maybe he actually is. Okay, I will definitely stop doing stupid stuff. But speaking of that, I did see a TikTok video you posted that had such an interesting view on it, and I'm pretty sure maybe some people here might have it. The whole idea about soulmates and twin flames, and you know, how do you know if somebody's really meant to be in your life or is meant to be the one? Like, what is your whole perception on that?
Regarding the title Twin Flames and Soulmates, I don't really like it. I'm not a big fan of it due to a lot of people staying in situations that or relationships that are very toxic and not the best. And many people are convinced that this person is their soulmate or their twin flame. Therefore, they have to stay with this person and deal with the negativity or the depression that they get brought by this relationship, or just they due to the title, they feel like it's a must to stay. But as in really knowing about soulmates or if you've met your twin flame, it's how do I say this? I feel like it's more of an intuition feeling. It's more of receiving certain messages either through dreams or certain visions at times. That's the way I would really fully know if someone is meant for me. Everybody's different. Everybody receives their messages different. But I don't really like to use those titles. I'm not really a big fan of them.
Yeah,
So could
and I always wondered if there's a soulmates, right? Is there also soul platonics?
I would say to an extent a little bit.
Okay.
so
Just one of
what
my
I'm getting
interjections.
is so what I'm getting is people could be your twin flames, but in reality, it doesn't mean that you're meant to be together. You know, it doesn't excuse the fact that you still have a toxic relationship. You know, somebody could
Yeah.
feel like they were meant to be in your life, but didn't mean to actually, stay in your life.
Yeah, and even then, if you do believe in those terms, it's said that we have multiple twin flames, we have multiple soulmates. So there could be people that have up to 8 or 12 soulmates, but not all of them, or twin flames, but not all of them are meant to be full-on romantic or positive soulmates or twin flames.
So that's like soul polygamy, right? Or
I guess if you want to call it that, sure.
all right.
I have a question. I know we're getting ready. I know time is marching on, but like, do you think that the past lives piece may play a role in someone having multiple soulmates? Like maybe that in other lives, these two people are maybe either working out some unfinished business in this current life, as you know, and that came up in a previous lifetime.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely real. And there's even people that can help you regain those memories and help you look a little more deep into that by doing trances or by certain meditation techniques. But I feel like there are people that you will meet that I've met some people that I feel like I've known in my past life, which is kind of weird, but it's definitely something that's real. And I've met people that they remember each other, but they also remember how something happened in the past. So they're dealing with each other now to deal with that. I hope that answers your question.
It does. It does. I went and got a reading one time. I was trying to get something cleared, and the thing that blew me away because I felt like I was struggling to clear it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got it there, the psychic shared with me. She said she was looking, and she said, "Oh, this isn't the first time that you've been this is a repeat. And I thought, my thinking was, my prayer is, given the entanglement that it was, I don't want this for whoever I am the next life. I don't want them to have to deal with this. So my
Mhm.
prayer, my hope was to clear it this time, so that however this goes the next lifetime, everybody's free. So
Yeah, and that's very
Uh,
smart to do it that way.
did Willie have any questions or anything?
No, I'm just blown away. I'm like listening to this, man.
All right. I just want to be sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So speaking of pastimes, though, do you believe in karma?
Regarding karma, if we look back at this, it actually came or is a part of Buddhism. I hope I said that correctly.
Yeah, Buddhism. Yep.
So that was brought over more so to us, and that was something that I feel we started really feeling like, oh, it's real, it's real. But the way I view things, there is really no such thing as a reality. We all create our own reality. We all have our own worlds that we live in, and not all of us see everything the same. So regarding me and what I do not feel like reality is a karma is part of my reality. It's not something that I have really experienced due to not giving it energy or giving it power. I feel like you will experience it if you allow it.
And the interesting thing is, I'll out myself here. I'm a skeptic, but I'm a reasonable skeptic, and so I don't usually believe in karma or things like that. However, it's hard. I have to leave room for doubt because it does seem like you get what you give, and it's
I
like
definitely believe that
so.
there's
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Oh, no. You can go. It's fine.
I feel like there is such thing as cause and effect. I don't know if
yes.
that's what maybe you were implying.
See, that's the thing is I don't know what it is, but I know that when I've been selfish, I get selfish back. If and that's the thing is I'm still a skeptic, but I have to leave room for doubt because, of course, just like anyone else, imperfect animal, in perfect senses, I may believe in something a lot or not believe in it and could be completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
Yeah,
have
there's
an
many. Oh,
feeling
sorry.
about that. Go ahead, my bad.
Oh no, you're good. You go ahead.
I try to understand that myself sometimes. Like I sit here and think like I'm this giving person. I think I try to make a lot. I make bad decisions, but like I feel like I do statistically well and like stuff. And I'm like, man, I look at some of these people over here, and I'm like, these people I've known done some stuff, and they are living high on the hog or whatever. I'm like, when does their karma kick in? Because whatever they did, I want some of that. Obviously, being a good guy ain't it.
I feel
well,
like that's also one of the things that plays into the karma where we expect to, since we're good, that good should come back to us. It's the reality of feeling like we're deserving of it, when really it's more so a thing of just relaxing the mind and just putting what we do out there or being good out there, and then letting it come back to us without expecting it.
At
Wow.
least for me, I don't know. I practice Buddhism. There's so many misunderstandings about how cause and effect and karma are related when really they're the same thing. Um, and it's understanding as far as the Western understandings is, it's interesting, because it's when you talk about that or you talk about reincarnation, a lot of people immediately say, "Oh, well, I don't want to be an ant or I don't want to be an animal." But when you further study different Buddhisms, you find that that's not always the case. It's not necessarily all reincarnation is coming back as an animal or a raindrop. The Buddhism that I practice, you're basically coming back. The reincarnation that I believe is that you're coming back in a different body. You're not
Yeah.
coming back as an animal or some
aw.
random
Yeah.
object.
Because I want to be I want to be someone's pet dog. Like they
But
have life mastered. I want to
but
be someone's pet dog. They
Not
feed
all of
you, they
them. Look
pet
at
you.
Michael Vick.
but But you gotta,
Oh yeah,
but
Pokemon champion. Yeah.
but you gotta understand that the karma, the way it's understood Western wise versus in Asia is completely different. The understanding and what it means. You know, because I know when I grew up, I always thought it was something. Okay, well that person punched me, and then wait 5 days. Why didn't they get punched back? When that wasn't really the case, right? So if you believe in past lives and you can apply that with karma, that's a very think something to help you kind of understand it a little bit better, or to uh, get it better. You know what I mean? Because the way it's looked at generally, or misunderstood, is normally, when you look at it, you want to think, what did I do in my past life to deserve to be where I am right now, right? And what can I do to change it? And the thing is too, with cause and effect, what people have to remember is it's not going to always be something that you're able to see. And when something like that even happens, it can manifest itself in anything.
And,
Things.
Right.
yeah,
That's what
and
I've studied. That's what I've studied. That it's that they are. Well, I've studied that they're the same, but it's this idea that because and in the church we say, and it says in Galatians, God is not mocked, for what you sow, so you also reap. So it's this law is the same law, just in different languages. But I've learned it more the way you have, Stephen. That you never know what anybody's going through. You never know that just because what you're witnessing is this one thing, you don't know what else they're dealing with. It's gardening. Whatever seeds they've sown, they're reaping that. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean that they're not. And then that other piece, to your point, Dan, I forget what it's called. Like because we're living as humans, we will always come back in a body. Like we're not. I forget. There's a name for people who believe, because there are people who believe that you may come back as an ant or a wasp or a hornet, or that's your grandfather. Whatever people say, or whatever.
Shamu would be not so good.
But that's what I've just been told, that that grace, that if you, and I don't know if grace is something that every Jupiter that in the walk that people use the term grace, but that if one does furnish a belief in karma, if you continue to elevate yourself, you can elevate yourself above who and what you were at the time that you sowed those seeds. So it's this real, or what do you say, idea, that if I am ever evolving, then I can continue to move above what I've done. It doesn't, not as an escape, or not as not being accountable, but if you're not that same person, then you're not going to be in that same cycle of what's happening. So I think grace, elevating, is grace something that people talk about in the world of which of Wicca and all that? Do people use that term, grace, or?
Not that term that I heard of, but you're speaking exactly about like elevating, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I do believe that if we work on ourselves, that we definitely will elevate, and we definitely will get. There's certain ways I view things. Not everybody will view the same way. Not every practitioner will view them the same way I do. But as in regarding that, I do feel if you work on yourself and you continue to elevate, you definitely will be away from where you used to be, and that could sorry, it's kind of complicated. I don't want to say too much, but you're correct. We do use that. It's just in a different way.
Right.
And we do believe in that.
And one of the phrases that kind of bugs me when I hear it is there's this phrase called good karma. I believe that's called dharma, right? Anybody know that?
Dharma is purpose, though. So good karma is a little different. I think dharma is purpose. So good karma, I think, is just the idea that people always look at karma in this negative way. So someone else is just saying, what is the good karma? Because I'm personally a person who always wants to shift the conversation. I feel like every time we get mad at somebody, karma gonna get you. That's what people do. But I'm just like, but what about the good karma? Like if I plant good tomato seeds, I'm looking for good tomatoes. And why would I look for anything else?
Yeah.
So
okay.
The other Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying dharma, but just for Dan, dharma is purpose.
Okay. I thought she was Greg's wife.
Another translation for dharma is body. BODY. So you'll hear
Uh,
people in Buddhism refer to something called the Dharma body.
Like my dharma is too large for me.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
you know.
Hey, this is good. We should go though to another segment, and if
Yes.
Jupiter, if you want to stay for this next segment, and Willie, please keep joining us. Good. We have our Ask Reddit of the week. This is something where Stacy picks something, and now she let us go hog wild this time and pick our own things from our Ask Reddit of the week. This was from Best Comebacks. I'm going to be sharing my screen here, and there's quite a bit. We might go a little bit over today, everybody, but yeah, it's fine. It's a podcast. It can do that, you know? It's like, hey.
Thanks for rocking with us, y'all. Thanks for rocking with us.
Yes.
no
Yes.
problem.
Thank you.
Oh, and go ahead and throw that guy in there. It might be going a little slow.
That's okay. It should load up here in a sec.
The black brick wall. We got the black brick wall.
I tried to find the one with the red and a comedy microphone, but I could not find a good one.
I'll make one later. Or you just give me this one and I'll colorize it in GIMP. So, by the way, GIMP is me using a free version of Photoshop. I'm not going to get inside of a GIMP and colorize it, okay?
Okay.
So nobody say that.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not a guy in a mask with a zipper.
Yes.
Ew.
Yeah,
That's a
that's my high school PE teacher.
Nasty.
So look at this one. A friend in high school, on our way back from track meet, he was staring at a car that was parking that was really nice. When this D-bag saw him, D-bag, why are you bothering to look when you know you'll never be able to get one? My friend, the same reason you watch porn. Ooh, yes. Oh. Entire bus erupted, and it's still one of the funniest things I've heard.
Nice.
Yes. You know, you gotta love someone with quick wit like that. It's just beautiful. Let's see, what is our next one here?
Oh, what do we
Kid
do?
in English. What's that?
Let me read this.
Oh, got it. Go. Do it.
Okay. English class in middle school. Kid A. Yo, Kid B. Mama waited on me at McDonald's last night. Must feel like shit having a mom that works at McDonald's. Kid B. At least my mom goes out of bed to wait. You know what? I'm not reading this anymore. I think the wine kicked in.
I'll read. Who wants to read it? I'll read it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, go ahead. You're
Okay.
Kid B now.
Okay, so Kid B. At least my mom gets out of bed to go to work.
English teacher. Sorry.
English teacher far louder than he realized. Damn. The rest of us were laughing so hard. The teacher next door popped her head in to see what was going on. That's a good one.
Sorry about that, Dana. I thought I was going to take the next line as the different character. So
I was working on my multi-character work. That was my act out work. All
right. Who wants to say this one?
I can do it.
All right.
Someone yelled out in Walmart, "I'm not ashamed of who I am." Another voice echoed back, "That's your parents' job."
Yes. Yeah. So wait. Who we got? Anybody want to read this next one?
I asked my mother why she always wears makeup despite being in her 40s. She told me she wears makeup so she doesn't look like me. Edit. I was 9.
She teaching that kid early. Now, there's a reason why I want to read the next one, because I have something to add on to it.
Yeah, go for it.
During World War I, Switzerland had a tiny standing army, but they were very skilled marksmen. Wilhelm II of Germany asked, it should have been the second, asked what 250,000 Swiss troops would do if he decided to invade with 500,000 German troops. The Swiss said, shoot twice and go home. So they had double the size, and they said, we'll just shoot twice and go home. We'll be done with you. All right, so maybe you don't like that one, but it's historical, and now I'm going to bring a better one up. That's my favorite historical one, okay?
Yeah,
One
maybe
time-
we need to read out loud more.
Or not drink while we're doing it. I don't know. You and me, Stacy. You and me. Oh, by the way, everyone asking, it's beer. Beer is in my mug, okay? There's beer in there. You want to ask what type? Talk to me later. It's good. Anyway, so
Good
here's
beer.
one of my favorite historical comebacks is Winston Churchill. A woman comes up to him and says, "Sir, You're drunk. And quite drunk, I would say. Winston Churchill, still drunk, looks at her and goes, Ma'am, you're ugly. Quite ugly, I would say. The difference between us is that when I wake up tomorrow, I'll be sober.
Oh boy.
Some of us didn't like the ugly joke. Okay.
I feel
I love
personally
that.
attacked.
Well, just don't tell him you're drunk. You would never want to do that with Winston Churchill because
We have a
Yeah.
comment from Nate Hall. Quick wit. Someone asked, "Where's your mask?" I left it in your mom's nightstand. Oh.
Why does it always have to be your mom?
See, you know what? I actually didn't pick any of the ones that went to like to this just straight your mom, and it's your mom this because I find that low hanging fruit.
But it's
Yeah,
always
I don't know
funny.
why. Yeah, it could be. Yes. We might get to that if I get to some of the Jimmy Carr ones if we have time. But
All right.
all right, who wants this one? This is a
okay.
perfect one from a movie. Come on, somebody that knows the movie Aliens. Here's your time.
Do you want me
I
to do
don't-
it?
Yeah, you do it. I don't know the movie.
Okay. It's gotta be the aliens locker room scene for me. Hudson. Hey Vasquez, have you ever been mistaken for a man? Vasquez. No, have you? Thank you. And scene.
All right, next one that
You're
has
welcome.
dialogue. I'm gonna read one line and you're gonna read the other line.
Well, here I'll just read the setup. Who's gonna read? Who's gonna be John Oliver and who's gonna be Stephen Hawkins? Whoever can,
I hate to.
yeah, who can speak like a robot?
Who are you, Steve? Who are you, Stacy? Who are you going to be?
Wait. Jupiter said something.
Yeah, I think
sorry,
Jupiter
sorry.
wants to do one. That's fine.
Jupiter, do you
Oh
want to
no,
do
I
it?
was just saying I hate. Oh no, I was implying I hate to interrupt, but I will be having to head out right now.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, no problem.
Well,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
for
Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
This was really fun.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys take care. You guys have a good night.
And we'll follow you on
Oh, yeah.
TikTok.
You too.
We got you on TikTok. We can't wait.
Yep, putting it up
Thank
right
you.
now.
There
Follow
you
her on
go.
Thank you.
TikTok, y'all.
All right, I'm
Follow
doing
her
John.
on
You guys
TikTok.
have a lovely night.
Bye.
Yes, you too.
All right, I'll be
Bye-bye.
Stephen Hawkins, but I'm just going to do it in the voice that he wants to have, which is my voice. So.
Oh, no computer. All right.
Okay. And there may be a universe where I am. Why am I sounding Asian? Oh God.
British, dude. Can you do your best British?
I can sober.
Okay.
There may be a universe. Oh God damn. Why is it that when I drink it comes out Asian, but when I'm sober it comes out with a Hispanic ratchet
Hey
accent?
man, if it's
God.
Asian, just go with it. Just go with it, dude.
Oh, John Oliver Asian? Yeah, go for it. It's fine.
Okay. And there may be a universe where I am more intelligent than you.
There may even be a universe where you are funny.
Yeah. You know what?
Pew,
We
pew,
should have had.
pew, pew. Shots fired.
So, just briefly, so we're done with that one. But one of my favorite guys that does comebacks is, of course, Jimmy Carr. So this is going to go a little blue for those of you at home. Earmuffs. My favorite comeback from him is when someone heckles him, he'll look at him and go, "If you want my comeback, you're going to have to scrape it off your mother's teeth."
Huh.
Shots fired.
Yep. Pew, 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 pew.
I don't know. Yeah, after that, it's kind of like just be quiet.
Yeah.
That's...
But, well, one of the things I love about British comedy, first of all, Jimmy Carr does like 2.5 hours usually, or two to 2.5 hours. And
That's
Frankie
insane.
Boyle, who is also an insult comic, does 2 to 2.5 hours on his specials. But one of the things about the UK they're expecting you to do in your special is about at least a half hour of what's called taking the piss, where you're going to interact with the audience. The audience is going to purposely heckle you, and they want to hear your comebacks. They actually practice this in their specials and do it right then. So they'll have a half hour where they go, "This is no rehearsed stuff." Jimmy Carr does to reuse a bunch of the same ones, and a lot of times they go towards the mom, Stacy, just as you said. But that is, I mean, if anybody wants to see great comebacks, Jimmy Carr from the UK. Beautiful.
No, I might have to go there to shoot my 1 hour special, dude. Because then I could just do a half-hour set and a half hour of fucking calling people idiots, dude. I'm ready. I'll have a half hour in like 3 months, man.
You got to be
Got a
better
que-
than them.
Got a quick question for Willie. Like, what was probably in your own estimation maybe your best comeback from a heckler? Like, have you ever had a heckler? I assume. And what would you say your best comeback was?
Man, that's so good. I don't remember actually. I definitely had hecklers, but I ended up just talking to them. But I don't think I had like some great comeback. So what I've started doing was I wrote out jokes for hecklers, but I never had to use them yet. So I'm actually kind of waiting to get like, I knock on wood, I don't want to be heckled, but I kind of want to see if these jokes actually work. So
Okay,
I actually really like. Oh, go ahead.
Just an idea. Why don't you practice it right now? We'll make Dan and Stefan the hecklers. Dan, throw some random stuff. Let's see what he's got.
You're wearing a shirt with your name on it.
Leave me alone like your dad did you.
Oh, that one's kind of personal.
You did leave me alone.
Nah, he just moved to another state. No, good job.
Stefan?
Me?
More that I have, just that I kind of want to do them now.
Okay,
So,
Stefan, come on.
Go.
I don't even know. I'm a horrible
All right,
insulter, man.
I'll do it. Sorry, Willie. You should have kept the afro.
Dang, you should save your breath for your blow up doll.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, I got one that's bad. That's bad. You look like a low rent Chris Rock.
Oh,
Shots fired. Pew 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 pew.
I wasn't trying that hard.
It was the compliment earlier, so I flipped it. It was a compliment, like you and really, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
But are we talking 2000s Chris Rock or like two box hair sitting on the New York bench Chris Rock?
That's a good question.
One's like, all right, that's good. That's what's up.
We're talking pre dental work, Chris Rock. Maybe.
Oh no, not before Chris Rock.
Like heckler. I'm channeling the inner heckler because I have nothing. I'm channeling the heckler.
This is exactly what I would say to the heckler. I would end up turning it into a conversation and kind of like taking the power out of them. Mm-hmm. So that's exactly what I mean. That's not. I don't have a Chris Rock comeback, but but that's kind of how my hecklers have always been. Like they'll say something and then I'll like question it, or we'll just end up turning into like a conversation. But then I'll slip back into like a joke. So, but those first two are like my best comebacks that I written out. The other ones are just like awful. Like I'll tell, shut up, please don't. Nah, I'm not gonna say the rest of these. These are just like the worst. I don't even feel comfortable saying them.
Do it.
At least one.
Okay.
His career ended that night. Oh, I'm sorry.
It really did. Everyone. Well, for example, I have it where like I'll have everyone point at them and say, "Women hate you." I don't know. I don't want to do them. It's stupid. They're not even good. The first two, I peeked after the second one. So,
well, here's the thing. If you look at George Carlin, he just ignored them. He'd have people heckle. I mean, when he went through his religion stuff or politics stuff that people didn't like, he'd have people yell at the stage, and he would just keep doing his act. That was his way of taking care of hecklers. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'm on the stage with thousands of people. I'm not even going to involve you." One of the best people, if you could watch him on Facebook, is Steve Hofstetter. He's amazing with hecklers. It's one of his specialties, is he has all these videos of dealing with hecklers, and he does what you talked about there, Willie. He engages them in a conversation, and that becomes. He goes, "No, I had 3 jokes. Now you're the joke. For the next 5 to 10 minutes, you will be the joke until I get you to stand up and leave my show." And he nails them. Like he basically, just tortures them right there on stage, and he's so good at it. So good.
Yeah. I went to go to the Comedy Store and I saw Joe Rogan, and before, or actually he finished, there was another guy that was going to go on. Andrew Dice Clay came on, so that guy got booted off, or two comics got booted off. I mean, obviously for good, it happens. And some guy heckled him really bad because the girlfriend was doing something that really pissed him off. And then she looked over at the boyfriend, and the boyfriend was like, she looked at him like, "You gonna say something?" He's like, he's talking shit about me. And she looked, and he looked up on stage, and I forget what he said. It was something like about Italian people, really racist about Italian people. And he stops the show, and he gets the guy to spotlight him, dude. To spotlight him, it's fucking amazing. And he looks at him and he goes, "Hey, I don't come to your job and slap the dick out of your mouth, do I?"
That's an evergreen. Jimmy Carr uses that. A lot of them have used that. It's just, I don't come where you work and slap the dick out of your mouth. It's even in Mr. Show in their first season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring up the spotlight, and this is not comedy, but there's a certain type of heckler. I've been at a punk show, and I went and I saw No Use for a Name a long time ago with Bad Religion. And No Use for the Name, in the middle of one of their songs, they stop, and the guy goes, "There's a guy in the middle of the crowd doing the Sea Kyle right now." I'm saying it wrong because I'm not a Nazi. I don't know how to say it. He's doing the Sea Kyle. So the guy was throwing his arm up. I can't do that. Someone will take a screenshot, and then I'm fucked. But he was doing it. And so he goes, "Put the spotlight on him. Hey, that guy needs to leave the show now, audience." Guy was gone out of the show within a couple minutes.
Wow.
And they put the whole audience grabs the guy and starts walking him out, throwing him out the door.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the type of heckler.
And
So-
that's yeah.
I think the most difficult one is exactly what I am, I guess, right now. The super drunk girl heckler. The drunk girl is always like having a conversation, and we're like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm in the middle of something," and then they take that as another conversation starter. Like, "Yeah, I know you are," and I think that was the hardest heckler like I've had to deal with. The drunk girl, the one that's just like, "Hey," like attention on me. Like she loves the attention. You can tell her everything.
Yeah.
You can tell her to fuck off, and she still loves it.
Yeah.
There's a really weird one of those that John Barry had when he was doing his crowd work thing. He did a whole tour of just crowd work. By the way, this is Todd.
Wow.
Todd Barry. Wait, did I say? I said John. It's Todd Barry. Awesome guy. And this one girl stops him and he goes, "What does she want?" And she's just walking on stage. She was like on shrooms or something. She goes, "I just want to feel it." He goes, "Feel it?" She goes, "Yeah." "You want to feel the comedy?" "Yeah." "All right." Lets him touch her, or lets her touch him real quick. He goes, "Okay, you can go sit back down." Just like, what was that? So that's weird. Just the heckler that doesn't mean a heckler. They're just super screwed up at that moment.
Wow. But you're right about the drunk girl. Ali Sadiq has one of his albums. Like there's a whole he's just going back and forth, and he literally just stops the show. He's like, "What is it? What's wrong?" And he just proceeds to just talk to her, and then I think she pops up one more time. He's like, "I thought we were finished though," and whatever. But he just turned it into and it turns out to be a track on the comedy album of him dealing with the drunk woman.
I love hecklers because it gives you that moment to improvise something right there in the spot. And, usually you're roasting them. It's fun. But drunk people are like, they're like, we're roasting them and they're laughing with you, but they're also getting louder. And I think the worst one, and I still remember her, and she was over a year ago, but I was like, you know what? You're paying attention to everything I say. So do me a favor, go stand in that corner right there. Okay, great. So all the gentlemen, if you'd like to go ahead and take her from my hands right now, she'll only charge you $5. Go.
Wow. That's a good one.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well, luckily security took her, and I'm like, oh, okay. You're getting it for free. Go first.
I think that there's always that funny one too, where there's a couple and the girl gets mad, but for some reason the guy stays as she leaves. I saw Steve Hofstetter do that, and he's like, "Was she with you?" "Yeah." "Why are you here?" "I'm the fan." It's like, so you're gonna have an awkward car ride home? "Yeah, but I'm not gonna miss the rest of your act."
That's what's up.
That happened when Joe Rogan was on. That happened. Oh yeah, This lady left. It was the very front stage near the entrance of Comedy Store, and they didn't close that side window right there in the front, and so you
Uh-huh.
could see the lady just pacing the fucking window. And
She
then
started doing that thing where she slams up against it. Let
oh,
me in.
oh yeah.
Let me in.
And then I think he finished, and then Joey Diaz came on. I think was he on before or after? I forget. Somebody else came on, and then they started doing their set, and she was, taking the attention. So it's like, all right, everybody, let's just tell jokes and pay attention to the lady outside. And he just did like he was just ripping her, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
This is
You want to be a
crazy.
good drunk at a comedy show. You want to be a good drunk.
Well, it was like when Joey Diaz was on, they had people come back from the restroom all loud. It's like, okay, you're gonna go to the restroom. You're gonna come back. Can you go back quietly, or do you have to take the bathroom conversation out to where people are performing? Like, you're gonna
Yeah.
get fucking bombed on, dude, and you deserve it.
Well,
I
So,
love them though. I
Willie,
love
what's
them.
next for you? When's your next? Like I know you're zooming right now. We saw you. I know I saw you a couple of weeks ago on the Shindig show. Where can we see you next? Where I mean, if Zoom or live, because people are coming out, are doing there's some live shows happening. So what do you have coming up?
I am doing a show. I actually got to find this chapter. I'm doing something this on the August 15th. I'm doing a show that's going to be on, like, it's going to be a live show, social distance and all of that. I'm doing a show with Teresa Love on the 14th. I'm doing the Burbank Comedy Festival on.
Okay.
I got a lot of little shows. I hate that they moved Big Pine Comedy Festival online because I was really looking forward to going to Flagstaff for real.
well, where are you posting all these right now? Where's the best place for people to look?
If they follow me on Instagram, it'll all be on my Instagram. I do need to update it, and I will. But yeah,
Let's throw that up there, Stefan.
Oh yeah.
WILLIEMACC. Yeah, right there, and y'all see everything that I have coming up.
There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna be working the festival in the tech department behind stage.
Burbank Comedy. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. For
Nice.
flappers. Yeah. So I'll be that guy in the back recording everybody and muting rude people and all that fun stuff.
Being one of those boring editors, Willie. Just one of those boring editors.
Boring editors.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But in all reality, you guys support flappers. They're going through a financial hard time right now. They have amazing food, so if you can order to go, that's great. But come on, they are like a family to a majority of stand-up comics. They feel like my family.
Yeah.
And look them up, because if you get on their Instagram, you get on their Facebook pages, they will tell you, we got these Zoom comedy shows. What are you going to do? Watch network TV? No. You watch these Zoom comedy shows. I mean, watch the Super Bowl, because Willie might be there.
Yeah, definitely.
But definitely watch those.
Like when I look at my bank account, Flappers is actually getting all my money. Whoever has a show, I'm in there. So I'm definitely I recommend it highly for everybody. Like just anybody watching, if you really want something to do. I think all of us have done Flappers shows, and so it's exciting. So it's coming. And so then like between either dragging my people out to see me or going to see all the other comics I support, definitely you guys, everybody support Flappers. There is something for everybody. I did most of the shows I had been doing were on Fridays and Saturdays, but I did my first Monday night show, and that was like a whole different vibe or whatever. So everybody, I know, like I said, everybody here is doing it. So everybody, yes, support Flappers. It's good stuff, you guys. It's good stuff. And with the festival coming up, you got Willie Macc. You got there's all kind of great stuff coming.
And I'm teaching commercial class for comedians for the Burbank Comedy Festival too.
Oh, okay. All right, we need that. Yeah, I know. I hope it's not packed. I need that. We need that.
And I'm working towards doing my first Flapper show, so eventually I got to get there. Yes,
it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Know that vibrationally, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, it's happening. Yes, sir.
Well, all right. Well, we've had a great show tonight. Two good guests and talked about some stuff. And Once
And had a
again,
good
you know,
time.
we had guests staying towards the, the rest of the show for the most part. I mean, I know Jupiter had to go, but she stayed for quite a bit, and we love that our guests do that. It's great stuff. So
And I feel like
thanks.
Jupiter is still here in spirit. I feel like she's still here. That's how I feel.
She literally.
Oh, and guys, please let us know if you like the paranormal stuff. If you do, I will find more. Like we're thinking about getting some ghost hunters. We're thinking about getting some psychic mediums that talk to dead people. Like, if that's your thing, let us know. If you like it, we'll keep doing it.
You know that I hear dead people
I see
because
dead
I
people.
listen to classic rock.
There.
And I'll say this one last time. You guys follow Willie Macc, an incredible one of our. We're so blessed and grateful that I had time to come and spend with us tonight. So you guys follow him on Instagram. Check out his shows. He's that
Dana, you have a show actually to promote as well.
Oh Lord, I do. Saturday, it's going down. The Shindig Show. Very excited. Jamie Kennedy is our headliner. I'm following in the steps of Willie. Willie was on with Shane. What was that, like 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So I'm doing a Shindig show on Saturday, and Jamie Kennedy is our headliner. We've got Rajiv and we've got Lindsay. We've got a lot of great stuff. But you guys, so go to my Facebook or my Instagram, and then use promo code Dana with 2 N's, DANNA, for $5 off. Your ticket on Eventbrite. And yeah, I'm excited. I got Shindig on Saturday, Jokes from Home next Friday, and Friday Night Funnies the next Friday. But Shindig show. Saturday. I'm excited. Sorry, that was a lot. I get excited.
Yeah, it's fine. So everybody, have a nice evening.
Have a good
Thanks
night,
for sticking with us.
guys.
I know we went a little bit over. That will probably happen all the time.
Thank you for
All right.
watching.
Love you, Willie. Love you.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Take care, y'all.
Oh yes,
All
thank you,
right.
Willie.